Hello, first grade. So I know we haven't done social studies in quite a while, but we are going to today. We're going to start Unit 2, which was families long ago and today. Okay, so it's very similar to how we used to do it. We're going to start with our essential question, which is how do families grow and change over time? Okay, so if you think about what that might mean, that'll look like today, where we're talking about the past, the present, and the future. Lesson 2, which we'll talk about next week, it'll be about learning about the past, and then what life long ago and today looks like, right? So there's all different kinds of things. You have to think about homes and clothing, transportation, what food and entertainment and technology looked like long ago, what schools looked like long ago, and the roles of women and your family and what communities looked like. Okay, and then we have to think about traditions and things like that, right? So not every family is Catholic like us, which makes us different when we go to school, right? So our right now we're a little different than it might have been. I wonder if it was like that long ago or if it wasn't. Okay, so we're going to focus on lesson 1 today, which is the past, present, and the future. Okay, and our learning target, which means what we're trying to focus on today, right? So we can place events on a timeline. That is what you should be able to do when we are all done today. So let's get started. We're going to read our book first. Okay, this is The Past, Present, and Future by Karen Jones. So I wonder where this picture is from. Do you think it's from Illinois, where we live? Do you think it might be from somewhere different? I think it might be from somewhere different. It looks very close to the water. Okay, so this is time passes each day. Ooh, can anybody tell me what time is on the clock? Right? Quick math question. So my short hand is pointing to the 12 and my long hand is to the 6, which would make it, this is my hour hand, so 12. And if I'm pointing to the 6, I have to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? So 12:30. Very nice. Okay. Whew. Back to social studies. So time passes each day. We call the time before today the past. The past can mean a day, week, month, or year ago. It can also mean time that was more than hundreds of years ago. Wow, that doesn't look like anything today, right? Whew. The picture is not even in color. Oh, this picture is not in color either. People sometimes use the term long ago when referring to a time far back in the past. Right? So we don't have cars like that anymore. This picture is in color. That's different from what we've been seeing. It says long ago, people dressed differently than we do today. They had different jobs, ate different food, and had fun in different ways. Schools were different long ago. People were treated differently and sometimes unfairly because of who they were or what they looked like. So that kind of reminds me of, do you remember when we talked about Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King Jr., we talked about him a lot, and we talked about how he was kind of treated unfairly because of the way that he looked, right? And how that happened a lot then. So that was very different from kind of how it is today. Okay, this says the time that we are living in right now is called the present. So right now, today is the present. We're living in the present. That kind of means like in the moment, right? So in the moment you're in right now. So things that we do, the clothes that we wear, our jobs and schools, and our individual rights are different than long ago. So individual rights means your rights as one person, right? So this little boy is one person, his rights as one person. Okay. The time that will happen later on in our lives and beyond is called the future. So the future is tomorrow and when you turn 15 and when Miss Melissa turns 100, right? And that's all time in the future. That hasn't happened yet. Okay. Wow. You will be 20 years old in the future. Can you imagine that? Whew. How do you think cars, jobs, and schools will be different in the future? Do you think everything's going to have technology like this? Do you think we'll all have robots or everyone will have a computer or computers will be screens like this? I wonder. That's all a lot to think about. Okay. So these are years. Okay. We've talked about how this year is 2020. Okay. So we're going back in time. This is back in 2014. Okay, so this is Samira's first time riding the bus. I believe this is Samira, right? If we're looking at our pictures and what's around us. And then this is 2015. So it's the next year. Like, look, do you see how it's lines like on a timeline or a number grid? A number line, I'm sorry. It's like one hop, so 1 year has happened. Okay, Samira's first vacation. One more hop, 2016, the next year. Okay, so 2 years have happened. Samira's little brother was born. Wow. One more year, 3 years. Samira's family moved. 4 years. Samira got a pet dog. Wow. We can put events from the past, present, and future on a timeline. A timeline shows events and the order that they happened in. Okay, so events are anything that's happening, right? So this is the first time riding the bus. That's something that happened to her. Her first vacation. Her little brother was born. Their family moved and they got a pet dog. Okay, and just like this, it's showing you different, what? What are these different ones of? It says July, August, September, October, right? So it's showing you different months. And this says we can use timelines across hours, days, weeks, months, or years. Timelines don't always look the same. They show the time period and the event that happened. Timelines can use pictures or words. Okay, so here it has pictures and word, right? It has a word for the month to help you know when it was. And then it also has a picture to show you what's happening. So does that mean that anybody can make a timeline? Because we can find the days of the month on a calendar, and then we know how to spell them, and we can all draw wonderful pictures. So I know that we're all able to make our own timelines. Wow. So this is a new picture, right? Our pictures all look like this in black and white. And we have these bows and all the girls are in dresses. Right? So no, so this is an old time picture. And this is kind of what we look like today, right? These are some kids you might see on the street nowadays. So it says it's important to learn about the past, to cherish the present. Does anybody know what cherish means? It means to like hold close to our heart, right? So we really want to care about it. We want to care about the present and like do the good things that we can right now, right? So in today and right now, sometimes mom needs help or dad needs help, and you want to stop and you want to help, right? Because you want them, you want to have good memories of right now. You don't want to have memories of, being sad and getting in trouble because you didn't clean your room, or um, you wanted to fight with mom instead of, listening, or doing something that you're not supposed to do, right? So you want to have good memories, which means you have to make good choices. So it's important to learn about the past, to cherish the present, so to hold close to us the present, and to look forward to the future, which means later. It's all important because those are things that are going to help us um, remember all of the good times that we've had before and how to make good choices later on. Wow. Okay, so normally, right? Normally we would have our own individual packets and we would get to do these on our own, okay? But because we don't have our own individual packets, we are going to do it together. So I am going to get a little pen if I can. Maybe I can't, but we can definitely talk about this. So this says, okay, right here it says go to sleep. So place these events on the timeline. This is Max's timeline. So this says 9 a.m. Does 9 a.m. happen in the morning time, right? Because this is going in order. So it's 9 a.m., 12 p.m. or noon, 3 p.m., and it says get home from school, 6 p.m., and then 9 p.m. So this says go to sleep. Do we go to sleep at 9 a.m.? No, we don't go to sleep at 9 a.m. We go to sleep at 9 p.m. So go to sleep would be over here, 9 p.m. This says do homework and chores. So do I do my homework at 9 a.m. in the morning, right before I go to school? Do I do my homework in the middle of the day, maybe at lunchtime, and that's when I can do my chores? Or 3 p.m. I got home from school, right? So 6 p.m. I'm at home. Is that when I do my homework and my chores? Yeah, right? Because 9 p.m. we already have go to sleep. So our go to sleep one is already over here. Do homework and chores is going to come over here to 6 p.m. This is get on the school bus. So am I going to get on the school bus at 9 a.m. in the morning? Or am I going to get on the school bus at noon when I should be at school already? Yeah, I'm going to get on the school bus early in the morning. And then we would have, oh, perfect. Okay, so go to school is going to go over here. Okay, do homework and chores is going to go over here. Get on the school bus is going to go in the morning. And then this says have lunch. So where's our last place? We have this box is taken, this box is taken, this box is taken, and we have one here left, right? So have lunch is going to go right at noon, right in the middle of the day when you'd be hungry. Okay, so you guys did a great job. And now we're going to go to our next sheet. We're going to erase everything. Then we're going to go to our next sheet, and we'll have one more problem to work with together. Okay, so this says the past, present, and future. Draw and label yourself in the past, present, and future. Okay, so what would past Miss Melissa look like? Maybe a little girl, right? And that's my, whew, not very good at drawing with this, but maybe like that's my mom. So we're together. I'm little. So me in the, maybe I'm like in the store with my mom. So we'll say store. Okay. Oh, does that say me in the store? Is that what that means? Or it says draw and label yourself in the past, present, and future. That means it wants me to actually, here instead of store, I would have put me in the past, right? And right, just like in school, we could just cross it out. We don't need to erase it. We don't need to do anything else. Okay, and then it says me in the present. I can write in my words now before I even draw my pictures so I don't get confused, because I got confused. And then it says me in the future. Okay, so what does Miss Melissa in the present look like? Here, look at this as a computer screen. That's me currently, right? I'm always on the computer now. I don't get to see you guys now. That's Miss Melissa in the present. Okay, and then it says Miss Melissa in the future. So what do you think I'm gonna look like in the future? Just an old lady, right? So I'll have a walking stick. Maybe I'll have shorter hair. Okay, and that's Miss Melissa in the future. So this says, our quick check, says we can measure time in hours, days, weeks, months, or years. Is that T true or F false? Okay, so why don't we go back and look, right? So this is right, so this is time passes each day. We call the time before today the past. The past can mean a day, week, month, or year ago. It can also mean time that was more than hundreds of years ago. So what do you think the answer is to our question? It says we can measure time in hours, days, weeks, months, or years. True, right? Yeah, we can. So we would color in true. And then it says the time that we are living in now is called the future. Is that true? Well, when I drew my pictures, I drew Miss Melissa right in the computer. And when is Miss Melissa in the computer? Right? That's the, does anybody remember? The present. That's right now. Right? So the present. So is that true or false? Yeah, that's false. Because right now it's called the present. And this says a timeline shows when events happened. So our timeline was when we saw things happening in Samira's life, right? Like her brother was born and she got to ride on a bus. And so, yeah, timeline shows when events happen. That's true. Right, so our example of our timeline looks like this. And our other example, and this is a timeline, shows events and the order that they happened in. So this is showing you when things are happening. And then our other example is you can do picture ones too. Okay, timelines don't always look the same. So first grade, can you remember what our question was? It says, we can place events on a timeline. Right, so did we place events on a timeline? Yeah, because we were able to draw ourselves in 3 different times. Okay, and we were able to place when things happen on a timeline for a day, just like we do when we're working on our schedule in class. Okay, so I hope that you were able to remember how to place events on a timeline, and I will see you next week when we learn about learning about the past, okay, which means time that's already happened. Okay, I will see you next week.